Today we are going to take a very deep dive into the story, history, and present-day market value of the 1935 one-dime coin from the United States, specifically the Philadelphia issue, which carries no mint mark. This coin belongs to the Mercury Dime series, a beloved and iconic design that continues to capture the imagination of collectors even now, almost a century after it was first struck. To truly appreciate the 1935 dime, we need to understand the background of its design, the era in which it was produced, the meaning behind its symbolism, its mintage figures, how it circulated in American commerce, and finally how collectors and dealers today place a value on surviving examples. Over the course of this video, we're going to discuss all of these aspects in great depth, so whether you are a beginner, a seasoned collector, or someone who has just found a 1935 dime in a family collection, you will walk away with a clear understanding of its importance and its value in the modern coin market. The 1935 one dime was part of the Mercury Dime series, which officially is known as the Winged Liberty Head Dime. It was designed by Adolph A. Weinman, an acclaimed sculptor whose work also included the Walking Liberty half dollar, another design that has achieved legendary status among U.S. coinage. The so-called Mercury dime does not actually feature the Roman god Mercury, but rather a youthful portrait of liberty, wearing a winged cap. The wings represent freedom of thought. Because the design reminded people of classical depictions of Mercury, the messenger of the gods, the nickname Mercury dime became popular and has remained in common usage ever since. On the reverse of the coin, Weinman designed a fasces, a bundle of rods bound together with an axe blade, which symbolizes strength and unity, accompanied by an olive branch to convey peace. Together, these elements represented America's preparedness for war but also its hope for peace, a meaningful and powerful message in the years after World War I and leading into the challenges of the 1930s. By 1935, the United States was still in the midst of the Great Depression. Millions of Americans struggled with unemployment, poverty, and uncertainty about the future. Coins like the dime were very important in everyday life, as they represented a meaningful purchasing power during those hard years. A single dime in 1935 could buy you a loaf of bread, a bottle of milk, or a ride on public transportation. So the dimes struck that year were not just pieces of silver. They were essential instruments of daily survival for countless Americans. When we hold a 1935 dime today, we are literally touching a piece of that era, a piece that passed through the hands of ordinary people living through extraordinary times. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced the 1935 dime without a mint mark, struck a total of more than 58 million examples. This was a fairly large mintage, ensuring that these coins were widely available in circulation. Because of this high production, the 1935 Philadelphia dime is not considered a rare date within the Mercury Dime series, but its historical context and silver content make it very desirable among collectors. When we talk about the value of this coin today, we must keep in mind that the base level of value comes from the fact that it is composed of 90% silver. Each 1935 dime contains about 0.0723 troy ounces of silver, which means even a heavily worn example has an intrinsic melt value that fluctuates with the silver market. With silver currently trading around $20 to $25 per ounce, the melt value of a 1935 dime is usually in the range of $1.50 to $2. But of course, numismatic value goes far beyond melt value. Collectors look at condition above all else when evaluating Mercury dimes. A coin that has been heavily circulated, showing a flat portrait and nearly smooth reverse, will only sell for around its silver value, perhaps $2 to $3 in today's market. However, coins that retain some detail, even if they are moderately circulated, can command higher prices. A 1935 dime in fine condition, where Liberty's hair and the fasces show more distinct detail, might sell for $5 to $8. In very fine condition, where significant detail is still present and where is moderate, the value rises to around $10 to $12. When we move into the extremely fine category, where only light wear is visible and much of the original sharpness remains, the 1935 dime without mint mark might fetch $15 to $20. In the about uncirculated range, where traces of mint luster remain and the design is nearly complete, prices can go to $30 or more. Finally, uncirculated examples, also known as mint state coins, are where the value climbs more significantly. A common uncirculated 1935 dime can sell for $50 to $100, depending on the specific grade. High-end mint state coins, especially those with strong luster, attractive toning, and well-struck details, can reach into the hundreds of dollars. One of the most important details collectors look for on mercury dimes is the full split bands on the fasces on the reverse. This refers to the horizontal bands that hold together the bundle of rods. If these bands are fully separated and sharply struck, the coin earns the designation of full bands, often abbreviated FB. On the 1935 dime, full band examples are scarcer and command a premium. While a normal mint state coin might be worth $50 to $100, a full bands coin in the same grade could be worth $200, $300, or even more depending on eye appeal and grade level. It's also worth noting that coins from this era sometimes come with beautiful natural toning. Silver dimes that were stored in old albums or envelopes often developed shades of blue, gold, violet, or rainbow colors on their surfaces. Collectors value these toned coins highly, and prices can skyrocket when the toning is especially vibrant and attractive. A beautifully toned 1935 dime in mint state can bring far more than its standard price guide value. But beyond condition and rarity, there is another factor that adds to the value of the 1935 dime, and that is its emotional and historical resonance. Collectors cherish mercury dimes not only because of their artistry, but also because they represent a bygone era in American history. The year 1935 sits in the middle of the Depression years, and the coins of that time tell a story of resilience, perseverance, and hope. When people build sets of mercury dimes, they see the 1935 issue as an important stepping stone between the earlier low mintage dates of the 1920s and the later war years of the 1940s. Now, if you have a 1935 dime without mint mark and you want to know what it is worth, the best way to get an accurate figure is to carefully evaluate its condition. Hold the coin under good light, preferably with a magnifying glass. Look at Liberty's hair, especially around the ear and above the forehead. Is the detail sharp or flat? Examine the reverse fasces. Can you see the bands clearly? Does the coin have luster, or is it dull from wear? These observations will help you estimate whether your coin is worth just its silver value or whether it belongs in the higher numismatic range. Today's coin market is very active, with collectors buying and selling mercury dimes every day through online auctions, coin shows, and dealers. Price fluctuations are natural, but overall, the 1935 dime has maintained a steady value, and its silver content provides a floor below which its value will never fall. Even if silver prices drop, the numismatic demand ensures that collectors will always seek out these coins. So, in summary, the 1935 one dime without mint mark from Philadelphia is a common but cherished issue of the mercury dime series. In circulated condition, its value today ranges from $2 up to $20, depending on the level of wear. In higher grades, values can range from $50 to hundreds of dollars, with full bands and attractively toned examples commanding significant premiums. More than just a coin, the 1935 dime is a historical artifact that speaks to America's struggles and triumphs during the Great Depression. Its timeless design by Adolph A. Weinman continues to inspire, and its enduring silver content ensures that it will always hold tangible value. As you reflect on the 1935 dime, remember that every coin has two stories: the story of its creation, design, and place in history, and the story of its journey through the hands of countless people before arriving in yours. That is what makes numismatics such a fascinating and rewarding pursuit.